The European Union is on a mission to root out radical Islam. The deadly terror attacks in the past few weeks have triggered a chain reaction. First, it was President Emmanuel Macron of France. Now it is Chancellor Sebastian Kurz of Austria. His country was attacked 10 days ago. 4 people have died, more than 20 were hurt. In less than 2 weeks, Austria has hit back. A major crackdown is underway. The Chancellor is moving the parliament. He wants to ban political Islam. He wants sweeping powers to go after terrorists. Kurz has 5 specific proposals. Number 1, the power to jail terrorists for life. No matter how long the jail term of a convict, they will remain in custody until they've been de-radicalized. Proposal number 2, the power to conduct electronic surveillance of those convicted in terror-related offences. Austria wants to track them. It wants to put digital bracelets on them. Number 3, criminalize religiously motivated political extremism. What does that mean? It means a ban on political Islam. Religiously motivated acts of extremism, efforts to preach radicalism will all be criminal offences in Austria. Proposal number 4, a simpler process to shut down mosques. The mosques that are involved in radicalizing people, plus a proposal to create a central register of imams. And 5, preventive detention for people previously convicted of terror offences, presumably to thwart potential terror attacks. As I said earlier, these are sweeping powers. The Austrian Chancellor wants all of them because he says radicals are like a time bomb. And he wants to take strong and effective steps to reduce the threat level they pose.
Zu schützen. Für diejenigen.
This is a major intervention, but in my opinion, a necessary step to minimize the threat to our population. This means that in the future, it is not only a question of punishing crime, but above all, we must go and use every means to protect the population, because many of these people are nothing more than time bombs.
Bedrohungsrisiko für unsere Bevölkerung zu minimieren.
Austria is working on a 2-pronged approach. It is focusing on 2 targets. One is the terror suspects and the second is the ideology that drives them. The Austrian government has cleared these radical measures. Now the parliament has to clear them through a vote, and that's expected to happen next month in December. And this is not the first time that Austria has been confronted with the threat of Islamism. They've had something called the Islamic law since 1912. More than 100 years. And this is a law to regulate the relationship between the state and the Muslim community. In the year 2015, Austria amended this law. It revised the criteria for the appointment of imams. It added a new rule that made it mandatory for imams to know how to speak in German. It also banned foreign funding to Islamic institutions. Now the rest of Europe is trying to do the same. Austria did this 5 years ago, and now the government feels that it needs more powers. Why? Because Austria has high levels of jihadi radicalization. Reports say as many as 300 people from Austria joined the Islamic State. So 300 may not sound like a very big number, but Austria's population is only 9 million. That's less than half of New Delhi's population. With 300 ISIS fighters, Austria has among the worst records in Europe on a per capita basis. More than 100 of these fighters are still out of the country.
We
have more than 300 foreign terrorist fighters, of whom nearly 100 have returned. And about 60 have been prevented from leaving the country. More than 70 have died in combat, and more than 100 are still in combat territory.
Sind im Kampfeinsatz gestorben.
There are more threats from the Chancellor to consider, like the Muslim Brotherhood. In 2019, Austria banned symbols of the Muslim Brotherhood. 2 years back, 7 mosques were shut. 60 imams, 60, were asked to leave the country. It hasn't been enough, so the government has launched a bigger crackdown. Since the attacks in Vienna, the country's security establishment has been working overtime to dismantle terror networks. On Monday, they carried out a large-scale operation. More than 70 individuals and several organizations were on target. They are allegedly linked to the Muslim Brotherhood. But they've all been put under investigation for a range of crimes, from financial irregularities to terror support. So why are so many suspects being probed when they had no direct link to the Vienna attacks? Because Austria wants to dismantle the entire Islamist infrastructure. Thank you for watching Gravitas on WION's YouTube channel. If you want to stay up to date with what's happening around the world, then subscribe to our channel and don't forget to like and share. Thank you very much for watching WION. World is One.